All right, moving out from that to give you a glimpse of what's in store in our auto segment today, where we are giving you a very detailed review of the 2024 Tata Curvv V EV. Now, it's priced between 18 lakh, 18.57 to be precise, and 23.28 on the road in Mumbai.
The real question always is it the premium offering that it says that it is? Everything about the design, the interiors, the feature, the performance, the ride, the handling, the braking, the steering, the price, of course, the final verdict, whether or not you should actually be buying it. All of this and more right here with Overdrive. Take a look.
Identity crisis seems to be all the rage these days. Just recently I was watching this video where the creators of Hello Kitty claimed that she is actually a Londoner girl and not a cat. I mean, excuse me, it's right there in the name, Hello Kitty. The last time I checked, kitty equals cat. And I find myself in a similar conundrum even with this car. It's called the Curvv. But where are the curves? It's as sharp as the accent of a Londoner girl. In fact, even the wheel arches, they seem like they've been designed by my geometry teacher. There are so many creases on the car, including one even on the C-pillar. So come on, it's right there in the name, Curvv. But where are they? The only curvaceous elements on this car are the wheels. And let's face it, no one is reinventing those anytime soon. But speaking of reinvention, car makers are constantly reinventing the body styles to keep the excitement alive, and Tata is now joining that bandwagon. So let's set aside all my quibbles and celebrate the fact that today we are able to buy a body style that up until now cost luxury car money. Say hello then, welcome then, the new EV, which calls itself the Curvv but identifies itself as a sharp coupe crossover. Coupe crossovers aren't exactly the Miss Universe contestants of the automotive world, yet cars like the Mercedes-Benz GLC Coupe or the BMW X6 are a few generations old now, proving that there is an audience for this body style. Tata bringing this body style to the sub 30 lakh rupees segment is quite an achievement. So why hasn't anyone else done these coupe crossovers in this particular price bracket? But not for long. The Citroën Basalt came hot on its heels and at a significantly cheaper price tag despite that slightly more compact body. And Tata's former design guru Pratap Bose has now carried this accessible coupe crossover magic over to Mahindra, where they are also busy preparing a slew of new models in this body style. So will Tata and Mahindra finally turn this body style into a common sight on Indian roads? Only time will tell. What I can tell you is, despite drawing styling cues from the sub 4 meter Nexon, this 4.3 meter long Curvv sits on an all-new platform, tall and proud. And Tata is going with the EV first to gauge how the market responds to this coupe crossover body style. And once the design theme is established, the petrol and the diesel counterparts will follow, which is not too far into the future. Now, there are subtle differences between the internal combustion and the electric versions, especially in the ground clearance and the approach angles, because you see there are big batteries in the floor. With a longer wheelbase than the Nexon, it also manages to pack in a lot more batteries into the floor. 45 to 55 kilowatt-hour batteries nestled within the floor, which also make this a long-range EV, despite not being a really long car.
Now, while Rohit says that the Curvv isn't long, space is not compromised. You get a powered boot lid, it's a segment first, but then you'll see that you have a massive 500-litre boot. And the good thing about it is that the opening is wide, it's also quite deep. And as you just see, the loading lip isn't very high at all.
That boot space trumps the likes of the XEV700, even the Toyota Hyryder Hybrid, because again, that hybrid is eating into that boot space, right? However, with this coupe roofline, it means that anyone who is taller than 5'11" is going to have to practice their ducking skills. Now, in terms of the space, knee room, pretty decent, foot space also quite good, but because of the batteries in the floor, you sit in a bit of a knees up position and that compromises your under thigh support. Adjustable under thigh support like the one that we saw in the Citroën Basalt, that could have been a nice touch, but that's a segment exclusive for that car. What is a nice touch, however, is adjustable recline. Two-step adjustable recline, so you can find a comfortable spot if you want something upright or something more relaxed. So in terms of the contouring, in terms of the overall seating comfort, it is pretty decent. Now if you're going to be tall, the headroom will be a bit of a compromise, but you have a panoramic sunroof, so that makes it all feel quite airy. So as long as you're under 6 feet tall, you're not going to feel like a canned sardine, and once you leave this open, the cabin has a lot of natural light filling in, and it's a nice place to be in.
The luxuries for the rear seat are AC vents and a fast USB-C slot, but hardly any storage in the door pockets and plasticky handles and switches.
But be warned, hitting a pothole or zipping over speed bumps will have taller passengers testing the integrity of the headliner, especially if you have a more spirited driver like Rohit driving from behind the wheel.
The Curve is primarily aimed at nuclear families, or at least families that don't want grumpy people like that in the backseat always complaining about space. The real party actually is in the front. Both the front seats are ventilated. You also get this 10.2-inch instrumentation screen to add that tech-savvy edge. You also get a 12.3-inch infotainment screen that just looks like a home theater. Minus the popcorn, of course, but you can, however, get a portable coffee maker if you so wish from Tata's accessory catalog. And the system is mated to a 9-speaker JBL audio that really creates that surround sound experience. But if you have kids or people identifying to be kids sleeping in the back, then you also have a mode that says as much, kids sleeping in the back. So what that essentially does is only plays music through the front speakers so that they can continue to have their sleep and you can continue to have your entertainment. Now, whether you make coffee in this or get a takeaway, there's no space to keep that coffee really because there are no cup holders. Nothing here in the center console. You'll probably have to keep this bit open and maybe try and plonk it in there, but it's going to spill all over. Even the door pockets have the space at an angle, so the cups are not going there, only bottles can go in there. So that is a bit of a missed opportunity. Funnily enough, the cover for the glove compartment has two indentations that look like two shallow cup holders or can holders, so maybe you can use this like a tray when you're not on the move. You also get a pen holder and I think a card holder, whatever, some indentations here, and that tiger motif right there, something that we've seen with other Tata cars as well.
Visibility outside of this swooping rear windscreen isn't too bad from the inside rearview mirror. And you have a plethora of ADAS features to keep you worry-free when you're out on the road. The forward collision warning or the emergency brake assist aren't too intrusive and seem to understand our traffic situation quite well, including the fabled cows on the road, which is frequent in Rajasthan. What should have been a little more alert though is the blind spot warning system. Tata is confident about getting another 5-star safety rating with the Curve, and the safety extends beyond just the features. In your daily use, the ADAS and the blind spot assistant that we spoke of and the 360-degree cameras are going to be your most used safety features, apart from, of course, the 4 disc brakes.
Now you get a 360-degree camera, absolutely helpful when you are in tight parking spaces. It even gets you that 3D mode and all of that. But the turning radius is still pretty tight. Even on a wide road like this, you still have to make a proper 3-point turn.